looking at this light. It is the only light source for miles in any direction. Total darkness, crushing pressure, and water is just above freezing. And something evolved that light specifically, not to see, not to navigate, not to signal a mate. It evolved into a weapon. A single glowing filament dangling in front of a jaw full of teeth. In a place where any living thing that sees a light will move toward it, because light has always meant food, warmth, safety. The anglerfish did not find a trick. It found your instincts. And it has been using them against every creature that swims too close, in absolute darkness, at the bottom of an ocean you have never seen, for 130 million years. Everything you think you know about what an animal is supposed to look like was built from the 5% of the ocean you can actually survive in. The rest has been running its own evolutionary program, in the dark, under pressures that would kill you before you registered the sensation. For hundreds of millions of years. The reason creatures get stranger the deeper you go is not random. It is physics. Every meter down increases pressure, strips light, drops temperature, and reduces food. Evolution responds to pressure the same way it always has, by producing whatever survives it. This is not horror. This is physics with a body attached, and what physics builds in the dark is unlike anything it builds in the light. Bioluminescence evolved independently in deep-sea creatures at least 27 separate times. Not inherited, not shared, independently invented. Because, in total darkness, light is the only tool worth having. The hatchetfish lines its belly with photophores that erase its own shadow, so predators looking up see nothing. It does not use light to see. It uses light to disappear. The dragonfish grows transparent teeth, no pigment, no reflective surface, so its open mouth is invisible in the dark. A jaw with no face. Take away food next, and the body plans get stranger. The gulper eel abandoned proportion entirely, jaw unhinged to 180 degrees, stomach expanding like a wet paper bag, capable of swallowing prey larger than itself. It cannot afford to hunt. Instead, it drifts, jaw open, waiting for something to swim in. A mouth, a stomach, a tail. Everything else was overhead. The deep sea could not justify. The fang-toothed fish grew teeth so large that it evolved notches in its own skull to close its mouth without puncturing its brain. The weapons came first. The skull is the compromise. Every creature here is a negotiation between what survival requires and what a body can accommodate. The deeper you go, the more extreme the terms. Pressure does not just crush bodies, it disrupts chemistry, interfering with the enzymes that regulate metabolism, the channels that move signals between cells, and the structures that hold DNA in place. Standard biochemistry begins to fail. The deeper you go, the more of it breaks down. And yet, the deepest fish ever recorded, a snailfish filmed at 8,336 meters in 2023, resolved this by saturating every cell with trimethylamine oxide, a molecular pressure stabilizer that counteracts crushing force by chemically altering each cell's interior. The deeper the fish, the higher the concentration. At maximum depth, the concentration is so extreme that the fish would smell inescapably of rotting seafood. It traded its palatability for its existence. Apex predator of the deepest place on Earth, smells like a fish market bin in August. The vampire squid has a metabolic rate so low it barely registers. It does not hunt. It trails filaments through the water, collecting marine snow, dead organic matter drifting from above, and eats nothing living. When threatened, it pulls its webbed cloak over itself and becomes a glowing ball of spines in total darkness, and waits. It has been running this exact program, unchanged, for 300 million years, feeding only on the dead, wearing spikes, refusing to engage. There may be hope for all of us. Standard evolutionary models predict that adaptation responds to environmental pressure gradually through the selective survival of random mutations. The deep sea makes the pressure so extreme and so consistent that adaptations converge in ways that mirror each other across completely unrelated lineages. Bioluminescence evolved at least 27 times independently. Transparent or reduced eyes appear across dozens of unrelated species, and vision becomes metabolically unjustifiable when there is nothing to see. Expandable jaws appear in lineages that share no common ancestor. Pressure stabilizers appear in fish, separated by hundreds of millions of years of divergence. Here is the what if. The deep sea may be the clearest demonstration on Earth of convergent evolution under extreme constraint. When the environment is specific enough and demanding enough, the solution space collapses. There are not many ways to survive down here. There are few, and every lineage that survives finds them. The deep sea is not where evolution went wild. It is where evolution ran out of options and kept finding the same ones, because there is nothing else left to find. Every creature in the deep sea is built for a world you cannot enter. The pressure that would kill you in minutes is the pressure they require. The darkness that would disorient you completely is the darkness they have navigated, unchanged, since before your species existed. The scarcity that would starve you in days is the scarcity they have built entire metabolic systems around. They are not failures of surface life. They are not approximations of what a real animal should be. They are complete, perfectly calibrated responses to a set of conditions that are, in every measurable way, more hostile than the ones you live in. They got the harder problem. They solved it. Whatever is down there in the unmapped dark, whatever the pressure and the cold and 300 million years of unobserved isolation have built, is still there. Still running its program, still completely indifferent to the fact that you exist. But if darkness and pressure produce creatures this specifically, this ruthlessly adapted to conditions we cannot survive, because every deep-sea expedition in the last decade has returned with at least one species that did not exist in the scientific record before the dive. The Mariana Trench is one of 46 Hadal trenches on Earth. Most have never been visited. Most of the creatures living in them have never been catalogued, named, or observed. The ocean is not running out of things to show us. We are just running out of reasons not to look.